1% of U.S. children ages 3 to 17 have an autism spectrum disorder. That includes symptoms like difficulty with social interaction, communication issues, repetitive behaviors. Well, according to a new study published earlier this month, tracking a baby's gaze and eye movements could offer the earliest behavioral sign of whether a child is likely to develop autism. While eye tracking technology is not new, using it to detect autism is. Here to help us understand the findings is Dr. Robert Melillo, co-founder of Brain Balance Achievement Centers, which offers a comprehensive approach to helping children with learning or behavioral issues. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Melillo, this morning. I know you weren't part of this study, but you have done similar work. Tell us about the significance of these findings.
Well, autism right now is the fastest growing issue amongst children right now. We're dealing with something that has gone from 30 years ago, 1 in 10,000, to where we're now 1 in 50 children. So being able to identify it early on, we know gives better outcomes. So this is significant because it's non-invasive. We can look at something as simple as looking at eye movements, and it's a relatively inexpensive technology, and it may give us a clue that certain children are more at risk for autism than others, and we can start to intervene earlier.
And what does intervene earlier mean? What is intervention?
Yeah, well, when we look at this eye tracking, the important thing, the question for me as a researcher is, why do children with autism have this type of finding? Why are their eyes not focused on people's eyes as much, and what can we do about it? And basically what our research is showing is that it's a delay in the right side of the brain, where the right side of the brain is the side of the brain that's developing in the womb for the first 2 to 3 years of life. And that's the side of the brain that really gets us to understand empathy, that helps us with nonverbal communication. So we can do things to stimulate that area of the brain, and if we can stimulate that area of the brain and create more balance between the hemispheres, that may actually be the long-term answer.
Oh, that's huge. Okay, we actually have some video that we're going to take a look at now. If we can go ahead and pull this up. And this is some of this eye tracking technology at work with a baby that does not have autism, and tell us what it is that they're actually doing, what it is that we're seeing here.
Well, this is, like I said, a non-invasive where they can just look at the pupils, and looking at the pupils, and then what you can see in the video is that the pupil of the baby is focusing on certain areas of the face. So we can look at that and say, what areas of the face are they spending the majority of the time on? And the typical child will spend the majority of the time on the mother's eyes and on the face. And where a child with autism will spend less time on the eyes, more times on other objects in the environment, and maybe more in the mouth. We see this in adults as well too.
So what is a practical use for this? Is this a matter of all parents taking their children to have this test done? I mean, is that how this is going to play out?
It may be something that could become routine, but parents for years, mothers have said early on that the child isn't focusing. But this shows us that autism is present very early on. One of the things it may confirm is that vaccines aren't an issue, because autism, as we know, usually starts in the womb, and it's really present. And some of this research has showed that you could use this at 1 month of age to really identify children that are more at risk.
Okay, this is an interesting development. I'm sure there will be more research along these lines, and I'm sure we'll be calling on you again. Dr. Robert Melillo, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.